Hey, this is Aaron from AaronWitten.com, and we are here to discuss chest training. When you're talking about the chest, most people automatically think of the pectorals, but actually there's a lot more involved, namely the rib cage which supports it. That underlying foundation is where you actually get the depth and the height to your chest. So don't just concentrate on building larger and thicker pectorals, because you are fairly limited there. The rib cage can be expanded much greater than the pecs can grow thicker. So when we're talking about the pecs, we need to think about anatomy and function. They cross from the shoulder to the sternum. They're a large sweeping muscle, and their function is to draw the arms across the body in that fashion. So any movement you do that incorporates that motion is going to work the pectorals. So the bench press is probably the most popular movement in every gym. My theory is that it's because you can do it lying down, which makes it quite easy. It is fairly overrated in some fashions, mainly because you'll never develop a truly Herculean chest unless you have a rib cage to support it. So let's discuss that for a sec before we move on and demonstrate the proper form there on your pressing movements. The rib cage is best expanded by incorporating high repetition breathing squats, as they're known, with light pullovers. This is a very old technique. It's been employed for going on a century now, and it has expanded the rib cages of many countless individuals, including myself. It absolutely works. And simply because it is stretching the cartilage between the ribs and therefore expanding the girth and depth of the rib cage. So we're going to look at this in more depth in the section on thighs, but it is basically just how it sounds. You're going to use a weight that is challenging for 10 repetitions in the squat and perform 20. How is this done? With a lot of breathing, a lot of effort, a lot of concentration, and a hell of a lot of work. So you complete your reps, say 10, whatever it is. Instead of racking it, you stand there and you breathe as deeply as you can for as long as you need until you can do one more rep. And then you repeat the process until you get 20. That is the magic number. That will greatly encourage deep breathing, I can tell you. So anyone that tells you that weight training is anaerobic has not done a breathing squat. As soon as you finish those 20 reps, right before you die, you want to lay down on the bench, which you need in close proximity, and perform those pullovers with a light dumbbell. Again, we're going to demonstrate this in the thigh section. The purpose here is to enhance that stretch. The weight upon the upper back during the squat for those grueling 20 reps places a lot of stress on the diaphragm and acts as a form of progressive resistance there. The pullovers help to stretch it, and so they are equally important, and there we want to really encourage deep breathing. Using those two movements 2 or 3 times a week will greatly expand your rib cage. That is the framework for all of the musculature of the upper body. You're limited by that. If you have a narrow rib cage, you will never develop a truly large and powerful torso. And I'm talking about more than just the pecs, but more importantly the back, your shoulders, everything hangs off this. So you really need to emphasize this. And no, it does not have to be done just as a teenager. I've seen plenty of individuals of advanced age that have also benefited from it. So you need to learn how to do the breathing squat and pullovers. Some targets there in terms of poundage is about 1.5 times your body weight for 20 repetitions. So a guy who's a couple hundred pounds, he should shoot for about 300 pounds for 20 reps in the squat. And the pullover never has to go that heavy, maybe 25 pounds. Because if you go too heavy on that one, you're going to engage the lats instead of encouraging the cartilaginous stretching there between the intercostals. So those are some targets. There's an entire book written on the topic called Super Squats by Randall Strossen, and it's available on Amazon. It's $10. You will learn more from that book than you will from thousands of dollars worth of other materials and supplements that are available. It's good usable stuff, and it is largely touting the efficacy and power of the breathing squat and the pullover. So I recommend you really put some effort into that. Okay, now for some direct stimulus to the pectorals. Yes, the bench press can be effective if done properly. What that means is that you need to lower the bar under control, maybe even get a slight pause on the chest and then press up. Heaving the weight, balancing it, these sort of things will let you use more weight if you're trying to impress some of the guys or gals around you, but it will do nothing for muscular development. The body has no clue what kind of weight is on the bar. It just knows the stress you impose upon it. So if you do the weight slow and controlled, you're going to stimulate the target muscle group. It's not going to stimulate your ego quite as much, but the end result is much greater. So I'm going to use Mr. Jeff Evey here to demonstrate the bench press. He's going to take an overhand grip just outside his shoulders. Yep. He's going to lower it slowly, touch his chest, pause and press up. Just shy lockout. That's perfect. That's going to remove some stress off the elbows. Notice, if you can, that his elbows are not excessively flared nor tucked. This is a very natural position. This minimizes shoulder strain. Okay, you can rest. Now, a word about angle and emphasis. You can control the area of the pectoral that you wish to emphasize by shifting the position of the bar. So right now he's been doing a conventional bench press by bringing it down to about nipple level, and that's going to target the mass of the pectoral. If you want to stimulate more of the clavicular or upper portion, you simply bring the bar higher. Lower that down. Yep. And up. Or even more so. Yeah. This is unnatural. It feels very odd. It'll cut your weight in half. They're called neck presses. It'll also do a heck of a lot more for your pectoral development than heaving twice that much weight around. Okay, rest. That is the conventional bench press, or two variations on it there. Now, the incline press is where we're going to go next. Overall, the incline is superior to the flat bench press because it places the body at an angle such that the shoulders can be employed as nature intended. The human body is always designed to work in concert. Everything is very synergistic. Nothing is really designed to work in true isolation in our natural function. The incline press simulates the actual function of the pectorals, which is this sort of movement here. So the incline bench press, although less popular because a person can handle less weight, is actually a superior movement. The execution is fairly similar. He's going to take a wide overhand grip, and I recommend that you lower it a little bit higher than you would on a regular bench press to, say, here. Look at that. Good slow control. That's how you build your pecs. You should always work on building the muscle you're after, not your ego. You can slowly increase the weight while maintaining that kind of form. That's the incline press. Very good. Some other motions that you've probably heard of or used are flies and dips. Both are good movements that should be employed with caution because they do not utilize the body in compound fashion. That is, you're losing the effectiveness of the triceps and the shoulders to some extent by using flies and dips. So they are good exercises, but you need to learn how to do them properly. I usually save those to a little bit later in a person's development, and then I rarely utilize them with the same level of resistance or intensity that I do the presses, because again, the body's designed to work together rather than singly. So that's your chest training, and check out the free article on the same topic, and thank you very much.